Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited to host this roundtable. It was the Awful Gamers idea. Also, fun fact is a callback from season 1, episode 2, when I did a pack refresh roundtable, first ever roundtable in this series. After the spa day had announced its refresh, and I was so excited, and we brainstormed all these amazing ideas of what was to come. And then guess what? EA forgot about pack refreshes. It's been like 2 years. So Alex, I thought it was a great idea to come back and let's talk about this again. So Alex, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, dude, welcome back. You are coming for Kevin's level. He's now just become the most returning guest of 12. He's been on this podcast 12 times.
I'm ready for it. I mean, it was the Disney Sim. Kev overtook them, and now it's my turn.
Yeah, it literally is just coming up. It's just rising. I think fourth place is Sims Royalty 22. She's been on 7 now. We just did 3 podcasts last weekend, back to back to back to each other. It was all weekend.
Wow.
Every roundtable, she stood on with me. So
I love that.
Right? But anyways, I'm so excited to be here today. And Mimi, welcome back.
Hello.
I'm so excited. So our Not So Berry podcast comes out this week.
I am excited about that. My kids keep asking me, when's it airing? When's your podcast airing? I'm like, it'll be soon.
It's coming out Wednesday. I mean, for anybody who's listening to this, because this is coming out in October, I'll go listen to it. It's out now.
Crossing all the fingers that a pack refresh happens before this comes out.
Maybe that's the hot update.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
What are they updating? Like,
what are they updating?
Right?
What don't they update?
Outdoor adventure because there's fire on the pack? Who knows?
Anyways, let's get started. For anyone, this is their first time listening. Let's do a quick round of introductions. The Awful Gamer, you go first.
Yeah, so I'm the Awful Gamer, or Alex, doesn't really matter what you call me, but I have been playing The Sims for far too long, but I've enjoyed it the entire time, and I've just started creating content with it, so you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and now Twitch under the Awful Gamer. But if you're trying to find me on the gallery, it is the Awful Gaymer, Gey, because you can't say gay at EA.
And we will change that eventually. If I ever make a big kid, we'll go there. You also forgot to say you're an affiliate with Twitch. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so
proud of you. You've come so far since I met you like last November or last October or something like that.
Yeah, it was like October. I was this faceless profile.
I know you were so scared to show your face. And now you're just, I love that. You're an affiliate with Twitch. I'm so excited. Well, thank you for coming back here today. Mimi, why don't you give us a little introduction about yourself and your Sims history?
Oh, well, you Maliki Star, or you can call me Mimi. You can find me on IG pretty much, and on gallery under Maliki Star. IG Maliki Star _ Sim Stories. I've been playing Sims a very long time. I love the chaos. I love the challenges. I like creating the challenges, which that challenge is still challenging me right now. But I'm always psyched for new updates. I always want to see them take what they've done and make it better. I mean, I can always think of things that they could tweak to make things a little better. I am liking some of the things that they've been doing, so that's fantastic. So I'm excited for this. I'm really excited. When he mentioned it, I was really excited. He's like, "You been round table?" And I was like, And then I saw your things I hadn't been on for like 4 or 5 days, and I was like, oh, so I was excited when I DM'd you.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to be here. I love talking to you. I love talking to both of you. I feel like we gotta keep this contained. We can't turn this into a 3-hour podcast.
It can blow up really fast.
Can.
Also, this podcast introduced me and Mimi together.
Yes.
Yep.
Through you. Like, you recommended. You're like, hey, you like chaos? I know who you need to talk to. And now we talk daily.
I literally did.
Fantastic.
I think it was after our. Sorry, go ahead, Mimi. I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
no, go ahead.
I was just saying, Alex, I think it was after our spotlight. I was like,
Yep.
hey, you got to meet this girl named Mimi. She's amazing and she loves chaos. And I think I literally just like shared the profile with you. And then like a couple of days later, like we've not stopped talking.
No.
Yeah, no,
I think
it's
that
still
like
continuing.
every generation for that legacy I'm working on, I've bounced off of. I'm like, this. Let's do this. I'm gonna do this.
I love that though.
Me
That was
too.
the whole goal of this podcast like 2 years ago, was to, bring simmers together.
Well, because
And
it's
so we can
hard
talk.
to do like versus some other games. Like, because some other games you get to play and talk while you're playing, versus like The Sims, you don't really get to like. There's not like first person shooter games or like Apex or those games where you're on a team and you're playing.
Mhm.
You know, and the only way you really get to like communicate is like this. That
Well, that's exactly. I mean, why don't we talk? I think this is like really good. Let's talk about multiplayer in The Sims. Do you ever think that could be a game, a base game pack refresh is turning it into multiplayer?
Ooh.
I think there'd be pros and cons.
Yes.
Because I kind of like to keep my chaos to my own craziness. Because sometimes I don't want to share that with people. I like to just keep it on the down low. But other times I think it would be kind of cool if you could be like, I want to go visit one of my sim friends, and like you could like go to their house and hang out. That would be kind of cool every now and then.
I could see it potentially happening kind of like how Minecraft does it, where there's like a server and you can
Yeah.
spin up a server and invite certain people. But knowing The Sims, please God, never let that happen, because the amount of things that would break if they try to do that into the base game
Oh, yeah.
terrifies me.
Everybody would be down for probably a good 2 weeks. They'd be like, we're not touching the game. I'm sorry.
Until it was released. They would be like, never.
Yeah, like
never
no,
again.
no.
100%. Or I could see it being its own thing, kind of like The Sims Online was like many moons ago. I could see maybe that becoming its own thing. But like as Mimi said, like I love the community. I love you guys so much. The Sims is my time. It is when I get to be me and I get to do whatever I want to do. And I don't want to share that with my you, if that makes sense. Like I want to have my own me time.
If you want to share it, you'd put it on like Twitch or put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
When you want to share it, that's a good way to do it.
Exactly.
And this is why Project Renee is a building game and not The Sims 5. And I will die on that hill on this podcast every time.
I will go there with you because I agree.
I hope you know when it's like officially announced, I'm calling you on. We're literally gonna host a podcast like that night, so I can like play it when it's like Project Renee is actually now formally The Sims 5. Like I just want to see like your face, just like
I'll go back to being a faceless profile.
Oh my god! And you know what? I'll make you a deal right now. If it is if it's not Sims 5, I will dress up as a clown on one of these podcasts and we will do it together. I will do a
sad
podcast
clown or the tragic clown.
I'll be a tragic clown. I will be a sad tragic clown.
You have to be the one from the portrait though.
Of course. I'm gonna go full in. If you are wrong, you have to be the sad clown in a podcast.
No. Oh no. Honestly, all right, that's fine. I'll do it.
We
That's how much I want to die on this hill. I mean, I've been clowning myself enough with Taylor Swift, so I could do it for The Sims.
See, okay, so Alex is one of the lucky few that was able to actually get tickets. The rest of us mere mortals just didn't even get an opportunity. My girlfriend Sierra every day sends me Taylor Swift reels, and I almost like, that's not my love language, my friend. She will come to Canada at some point. She will do an international leg.
She has to.
She has to. You just got to give her a minute. And because like she's like, because like for us, we'd have to buy it in USD, which is just I think I looked yesterday and it's at like 73 cents per dollar. So that's fun. That's just losing 25 cents per dollar.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm getting paid a lot in USD right now for like being saucy. So I'm just keeping it in USD. So when I go to Vegas, It's gonna keep it in USD.
Are you going to Vegas for anything special?
For my bachelorette / 30th birthday
Yes.
in August, which will
Yay.
have already happened by the time this podcast comes out. This would be the first podcast coming out that I would be married.
That's exciting.
I know.
Congratulations
So
in
exciting.
advance /
So
previously.
when are you getting married?
Sorry.
When are you getting married?
So I'm getting married September 23rd, 2023. This is projected to come out, I think, the week after, if not 2 weeks after. I'm not sure how this posting schedule is gonna go. But yeah, I'm excited to finally be married.
Exciting.
But I'm going to Vegas in August for
Ooh.
my 30th birthday. So, and I'm gonna go to Vanderpump and have a Vanderpump martini and just have my moment. But anyways, pack refreshes, multiplayer. Not
2 years later,
Yeah,
the
2 years
start of
later.
Stassi's podcast.
the start of Stassi's podcast
to the
for
end of
several
season
weeks.
2.
Definitely not the end of season 2. Season 2 is never ending at this point.
Fair.
I think I originally had the season ending the first week of September. This is now ending potentially in January. It's just never ending.
Wow,
Ever.
you really said like days of our lives. We're just gonna go forever.
Oh, I've been told I can't stop this podcast. I can never give it up. I got to keep it going. Maybe not 100 episodes a season. Maybe not
Maybe not that many.
Maybe not that. I'm thinking season 3 is gonna have like 20 episodes, like max. Maybe.
Okay.
With some bonus.
As
thrown in.
long
Yes.
as I'm invited and Kev isn't, so I can overtake his spot.
Yes. Well, that's actually funny that you say that. So I'm considering whenever I have a baby, I'm going to do guest hosts,
We
and you
talked
guys will
about that.
continue on my season,
Yeah.
and you guys do the work for me. And
You've been warned, everyone listening.
Yeah,
It's
everyone
about to
listening.
get a lot more chaotic.
I don't know, man. Like literally the season finale roundtable is literally called After Dark. So it's literally, there's no topic off the table. That's petrifying because there's no topic left off the table anyways. So what are they like?
We'll have fun with it.
I'm sure. Anyway, so pack refreshes.
Yes, we got to get into that.
Yeah, okay. So I am going to die on this hill. There's going to be no more pack refreshes.
I'm feeling what you're throwing down. I feel like that is going to be the case unless the hot update is like a fun pack refresh. I think it's just such a bait and switch. I want so many more pack refreshes. Although when I talk to people and like ask people what they wanted that didn't or couldn't make this podcast, we had like opposite answers, and so that was super fun to see. Yeah.
Oh, share because I've had some as well, because that used to be a question I asked all of last season and half of this season is, what do you want at a pack refresh? Because I was prepared for eventually for a pack to be refreshed. But
everyone wants Dine Out.
Yeah, that's like the most universal answer.
Yeah, that's the lowest on my list.
Yeah, that would not be on my list of ones to refresh.
Okay, guys, so it's been an absolute pleasure on this podcast. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Dine Out is like my wedding stories. It doesn't need a refresh. It needs to be fixed.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Like that in how I see it. Like the spa day was phenomenal because they added things like getting your fingernails and toenails painted, and it was stuff like adding to the game. Dine Out in my wedding stories just needs to be fixed. It doesn't need a refresh.
I agree.
It needs to be fixed.
I could not agree more. It definitely needs to be fixed, as it is my favorite pack. And I know that's a hill I will die on. I was gonna say. I love that pack. As a chef, it is so fun to being able to create restaurants.
Yeah.
For many chefs out there, the dream of owning your own restaurant is 0 to none. Unless you have financial backing, there's no way. You will always work under somebody else. So it's just so cool that you're able to create a restaurant. I think what I would want from that pack refresh, I don't even give a shit that it takes 18 hours to eat. What I'd actually really like is being able to customize your dishes, having set menus, being able to go in and downloading custom content food if even need be, and being able to put that in there and saying like, okay, so let's say I'm having a Italian house. So I want to be able to pair my wine with my dishes and just kind of stuff like that.
Oh,
You want
That's
to go
the
more in depth with it.
yeah,
I love
just,
that.
that's the
Yeah.
kind of more. And I mean, if we're gonna get to the next level, which I talked about like 1,000 years ago, is I love Cooking Mama. It's like my favorite game next to The Sims.
Yes.
Actually
I used to play that all the time.
Right? Like, but actually like making the food instead of watching
Yeah.
your Sims just like fucking throw it in a bowl
Yeah.
and like throw it in the sky and
And
like
then they
put the
just dump pour like the liquid into the stove, and then all of a sudden it comes out.
yeah. But like actually going in there and like chopping lettuce, chopping
Yeah, like you have to
vegetables.
click on something to do the task.
Yeah.
You know, like click on the asparagus and chop the asparagus. I
Yeah.
agree there. Like if there was a refresh with Dine Out, that would be nice. Because with my Peach Gen, I did a restaurant, and that's the one thing I hated with like setting up the restaurant is you don't get like
Mhm.
you have the same specific options, and you're limited to what you can pick to put in the restaurant.
Mhm.
And that does get a little mundane because you're not doing
Mm.
anything once you have the restaurant. You just have to be there, and then you can't be the cook in your own restaurant, and you can't like 10 bar in your own restaurant when you do
Yeah.
that.
That's where like cross pack compatibility, if they did do a refresh of Dine Out or fix it,
Yeah.
where a refresh of then like Get to Work would be really
Yes.
cool. Where it's like kind of like what they did with the vet clinic of cats and dogs, of being able to like do that. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be really cool to be like, oh, you got Dine Out, great. Now we've got like this additional thing that you can do, and all jobs are now things that you can go in. But
Yeah,
that's
if
one
a
of my
culinary
refresh
career
wants.
to go to, I'd find that very appealing in The Sims. Like it's great that you can have the culinary career, but then like you don't get to go and do anything.
Yeah. Or even acknowledge of so being a pastry chef, a baker, a sous chef, a meat specialist, like continue going down and make it as niche as possible. Or like I'd love to see food trucks, like actual real working food trucks, not what the builders put out. Again, amazing. Love what the builders do, but I want actual real food trucks of being like and creating them as well. So like basically let's do some Mario Kart shit. Being like, let's
Yeah.
go and like what do I want out of this? What design?
Speed racing mini game.
Big
Right?
racing mini game, but just like the design aspect of like picking the outside of your vehicle with the color.
Like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, like Wreck-It Ralph. Thank you, Mimi.
Love that.
You got
Wreck-It Ralph,
exactly.
always comes up because I always envision my Sims thinking how crazy I am when I shut my computer down.
Yes.
I
I
love
actually
that.
have thought that as well. I'm like, if they were real, they
Right?
would probably want to destroy me because I've turned off all of their free will and they just stand in place.
It would be
Waiting
like
for
that
just
Small
waiting.
Soldiers movie. All of a sudden, like you'd wake up and they'd just be staring at you.
Yes. Well, I mean, they do that already when there's stupid update where the head just like turns and like fucking looks
that
at you.
creeps me out so bad.
But like the head moves, but the eyes don't. So
They
the
don't. They're
eyes
like-
just follow, and you're just like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
This is why Get to Work is one of my biggest, it's not my number one, but my biggest wants for a refresh is just
Mhm.
make all of the careers be something that
Yes.
you can interact. I would love,
Yes.
like, I just did the science career because I'm doing the Not So Berry challenge, and it's like, this is so repetitive of asking for the same
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So having like different things each day would be nice as just a general refresh. But could you think of, now that they've got likes and dislikes, the food critic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to like go in and critique food based off of like your likes and dislikes with that.
You can
And
actually go
just-
into the restaurant yourself. That would be
Uh-huh.
amazing.
Right. I like that as well. And I kind of, Alex, I really like what you said about the Get to Work. I could not agree more. Now, the only thing I'd have to say is it would get boring very quickly because I feel like you'd only want to do it a couple times. And then you just like whatever. Because like I've done the acting career, the cop career, and the other one. And I maybe got to like level 5 or 6 and just started sending them without me because I just kind of got really bored of the same. Like, let's just say the actress one. Getting in the chair, getting the hair. The first one's wrong. I don't know why the first one's always wrong. Like, fire that hair and makeup person if you're just
Right?
like not understanding your fucking set, okay? And then you're just sitting there and you're just like, you do your thing and everything's fine. Like, it just kind of gets boring. Repetitive. I think
Yeah.
this is an extremely repetitive game. That
and
like
that's where the refresh could help. Because I see
Yes,
I
yeah.
feel the same with the science of like, they say you're at different levels, but you're not
Mhm.
doing
Yeah,
different things.
you don't do anything different. When you go to the job, you do the same thing every day.
Like if you
Right.
were going to go to be like a chef, let's just say that they added that.
Yeah.
Well, the first day you're a bus person.
Yeah.
So like you're actually having to go to different tables. Then when you get the promotion, you can go to like the prep station.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like where it's different every time or every level up, because you don't really have that.
Yeah, because
That's
I mean,
where it would
there's
be
only
interesting.
so much
Yeah.
gameplay in that portion, and I mean, it would be nice to have more. I think because you can get more
Yeah.
involved.
I agree. I think that's like Alex, you made again a very good point. I just had the idea of like that'd be like so cool. Or like, you know what I'd love to see as well for Discover University, whole pack refresh introducing going to trades and different
Mm.
types of school, like
Yes.
esthetician school,
Mhm.
learning to be a hairdresser,
It would
nails.
be good for like even if they did another spa day refresh too, because of that, because the esthetician and like makeup artists, things like that. That'd be cool.
Exactly.
It opens
Or
up gameplay to a whole different area.
yeah, or bringing the interaction. So there's a huge area problem in the scientific world where there's not a lot of female scientists. It's a huge area that's missing. Introducing that to like being in the sim, being a scientist, starting out at level 1, learning how to do research papers and stuff, and seeing that maybe if we do those life simulation games in real life, you'd actually maybe want to be a scientist,
Especially
and more
because
women
right
would enter
now,
that field.
well, especially too because right now learning is so technology based
Mm-hmm.
that if like the younger generations, like even kids like my age, like my kids' age, you know, everything they do in school is tech.
Yep.
They play a lot of games when they're at home. So if there was a game like with The Sims, it's a very interactive game. We all know gameplay can be extremely fun, but if you're adding those elements that kind of add life skills like that, where you are completing those things, they are learning. I mean, even us as adults, I've learned more from what I do in game or what I learn on YouTube than I learned in school, which is
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
No,
but
that's
kids love playing The Sims and teenagers love playing The Sims, so why not kind of make it fun for all of us of all different ages to experience those things?
exactly. Instead of it just kind of being like, oh, okay, cool. So I want to be a doctor. I'll read 16 logic books.
Right?
I'm a
Or
doctor.
play a
now.
lot of chess.
Or play a lot of chess. Like, you know what I want the most? Another base pack refresh is realistic births
Oh.
that are
Yeah.
not a fucking death trap of a C-section. I
You
have to
mean-
assume that's what they're doing is a C-section ripping out the kid.
Oh, and they put you in the tube.
yeah.
It always disheartens me when they pull out their heart.
Yeah.
What is that?
Elmer's glue bottle.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what?
What? Like, I understand it's supposed to be campy and shit, but like, no.
Well, yeah, because two good mods that are ideal for looking at that like refreshes is the realistic birth mod and like the preteen mod. That was a really cool. Like I remember using that in my orange gen. Like those are cool refreshes for like maybe like parenthood or like
Yeah.
things like that where it is adding, especially with the growing together updates and the pack. There's so much more that they could do with refreshes to kind of combine all of that together so they work really well together. Because with the updates they've been doing, they have been like we were discussing like where you can have more than one best friend now. Where they're not, taking and doing these things, which is I think fantastic. So if they could add stuff like that with refreshes, that would be ideal.
That would be so nice.
That again, it would just bring the level of realism back into the game that I feel is missing. And Alex, we talked about that on our podcast, that it's just so one base surface level of drama. There's nothing below that. And I think that's another thing that could be updated on the base game. Because like, let's be honest, isn't the base the base game is now 23 years old. So like what if they did like this giant
it's not 20. I was
sorry,
like, wait.
Sims is 23 years old. The Sims 4
Okay,
base
no.
game is like what, 10 years old?
And it's 2017, right?
17.
Or 2000, was it?
16, I thought.
16.
No, is it? Oh, hold on. I'm Googling. Maybe it's 14.
Wait,
I
Sims
thought it was
4?
I thought it was 13.
2014.
Okay,
Okay.
so next year would be 10 years.
Yep.
That is the longest time there's not been a new iteration put out. I think they should just remaster the whole thing and just kind of tie up loose ends and add more shit in there before they do anything else. I'm done with kits. The only thing I would want kits for is them to be free and them to add, let's say every expansion pack gets a kit that goes with that.
Yeah,
I
or
like
like
that.
like I would love to be able to pick and choose what I want out of
I agree.
what they're putting out.
Yep.
Honestly, I'd like to be able to pick and choose what updates I get, because
Yep.
some people don't want the updates that we're getting. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't have the get together pack and they wanted nothing to do with infants, but they got that update.
Yes.
You know,
There,
I'd like to be able to just go in and be like, okay, I'd like this, and I wouldn't even care if I was paying the same price. That's maybe me, but I'm picking and choosing. I just want to pick and choose what I want.
yeah.
Instead, I get everything because I'm like, well, I like these items, and then I've got an overabundance of stuff, and it's overwhelming.
Well, we've all bought a kit or pack for one item. I have.
Mm-hmm.
I for
Yep.
sure have, right?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I like Mimi's idea. So like what if say a kit for us is $7.99. That's our kit price. So say if you only get 5 items from that kit, it's $1. And going that way. And I think that would be so much more nicer because I would have no problem spending $1.50 on like 5 or 6 items than $8 on the 1 or 2 items that I might use. And I know that goes into the microtransactions that I'm so
I was
fucking
like Sims 3 store.
I know the Sims 3 store, which is, but I feel like that's a like different. Like in my mind, I'm going with like, I know it's like the worst example ever, but like as a girl, I want to own the Dyson Airwrap because that's literally what my algorithm tells me what I need, but I can't afford $800.
No.
So I have like the Shark one has come out, which is significantly cheaper. It's like $250, which is I want
That's
to put
a
that on my
lot.
$250. That's nothing when it comes to hair tools.
No. Yeah, I agree. It's not.
It's not.
What
My-
Well, this has
what
been
I
great.
spend on what I spend on like makeup and self-care stuff.
Yeah. $250 is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. So but you can go online on Shark and say, I don't want to buy all the accessories. I only want 1 or 2, and you can pick the ones you want, and that will determine the price. So the thing itself is a set price, and then the other bits are additional.
Yeah.
I would like that for The Sims. I would like to be able to take the expansion pack or whatever pack, take the base core of it, make it a set price, and if anything else was extra, or things that maybe I didn't want or need, I wouldn't have to buy it, but just the core things. But then EA is greedy, so they would put the best of the best
Oh yeah.
on the behind the paywall. Like I think it's ridiculous that it was just pointed out to me that you for like the C Scar section that comes in Get Together, correct? That's not in the
Yes.
base game.
I think that's base game now.
Yeah,
Is it
I
base
think
game?
it is base
I'm
game,
pretty
yeah.
sure.
It was
Yeah,
base
that came
game.
with an update. Yeah.
Okay. But before
With the, it messed up with the update or something
Okay.
like that when they pushed
Okay.
it out. But it has been since
has-
they've added it, it's base game.
Okay, good, because I was under the impression that wasn't. I was like, y'all pay $60 for a C-section scar. You can get the fuck out of here. Like literally. But again, it's just being trapped behind a paywall.
I like that idea of like, okay, so we have Get Together being the most recent, and
Yeah.
it being like you can get the update with like the infants and stuff like that if you want to buy Get Together, and then all of the items are separate if you wanted to pay them separate. So you could pay the 60 for the full thing,
Mhm.
or like $3 for the slide, or like the additional stuff that's not there. That I can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I thought it was like every item would be like you could buy, and I was like,
no,
I do
no.
not need the Sims 3 store again. Thank you so
No.
much, but goodbye.
No, no. Just like the core, because like, honestly, the infant update has slowed down my Sims game so dramatically. I am never gonna play with infants, ever, and I will die on that hill. Ever.
I really love infants. I mean, obviously, like, because I'm doing 100 baby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing 100 baby Winchester kind of. Yeah, we don't need to get into that chaos, but I mean, like, I really enjoy the infants. Like, that part for me has really like upped my gameplay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, doing it on 100 babies, that's kind of insane, but I loved that it was so much more interactive, and I love that like kids and toddlers and infants are interactive with each other, but
Mhm.
everybody feels that way.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part with the infants was what I was complaining about last time we met Stassi, which
Yeah.
is consequences. There are
Yes.
now consequences in The Sims 4 where if you don't pay attention to your to your infant, they become a fussy toddler. Or if you don't
Mhm.
give them enough attention, like my sim recently just like grew up with low self-esteem from not getting interaction enough. And I was like, I wish this actually impacted something other than like a moodlet every once in a while. But the
Yeah.
fact that you were like, Winter Baxter aged up with low self-esteem, I was like, okay, that gave me so many more ideas of how to like navigate this
Yeah.
Mhm.
character as like
And
we play
like
with
with
them.
like the family dynamic, that was a nice, and I feel
Mhm.
like they could do a refresh that could tie that in more, because like I love like in my Hunter Baby Winchester thing going on with Dean and Dakota. Dean always feels guilty because he's got a strict family dynamic with some of the kids, so he always gets little like moodlets. And although he is the same one who autonomously sings on every supernatural job he goes on, so I don't know.
Checks
But
out.
yeah, like I think that's, I do like the moodlets, but I feel like with a refresh you could add more with those
Yeah.
moodlets, because moodlets, as we all know, is just a moodlet and it doesn't really do much with your sim other than, they might be a little cranky for a little while.
It,
Yeah.
exactly. So like again, let's pack refresh that. Let's make it
Mhm.
actually it matter instead
Yeah.
of it being a mood that shows up like roll dice every like I don't know 6 or 7 moods or whatever.
I mean, like I could really do without the fears. That could really, because like again, like
That's the
if they
mood.
could do a refresh, they could refresh and fix that, because I hate that you go and you deal with the fear and then like the next sim day they've got the same fear. I've
Mhm.
deleted pools so many times because my sims, even if it's a toddler pool, get that stupid fear of deep water. I'm like, it's a toddler pool. How does that even matter?
Jesus Christ, this is why I like every all this my Sims free will is off. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself if Alexa was just like, yeah, I just hate being near water. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I don't have time for you. I'm sure they do. They're so post stricken at this point that I don't even acknowledge what they had. There's one where I get the one that they feel like they're being controlled. And I was like,
Yep.
yes,
Yes.
You
because you
are.
are. Because
You
you
very much
are.
so are.
You very much so are. 100%. But for pack refreshes, I think every single pack needs to be refreshed. There's not one pack, even the new one that just came out, in my
Yeah.
opinion, could be refreshed.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I think everything could use a little tweaking.
mhm.
Instead of them focusing on a brand new game, maybe we could refresh like what we got going on.
Exactly. Or 4 kits and a hot update. I swear to God, all I can hear.
I know that's a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, I got all of it. I'm not, but still, it was a lot. So I was like, oh look, there's 2 more. I'm like, do I really need them? Well, something in there's kind of fun. And then I get them. Do I need to get them? No, not really. I just get them because like then I go on that OCD trip where you're using them constantly for like
Yeah.
weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. I literally did that with Growing Together, or whatever that last one was. I was like, this was 70 doll hairs, my friend. I will be using this in everything I do moving
Like I will
forward.
do it all the time.
I will do it all the time.
I personally think the hot update is that they're refreshing the townie's hot weather outfit, but not the cold weather outfit. Because that's just the
Mm.
most Sims thing that I can think of. Is that they do like only one of the outfits, not 2.
Honestly,
Oh,
all I hear when I heard a hot update was just Paris Hilton saying, "That's hot." That's
hot.
all I fucking can. That's all I can imagine, and I can't get past it. And I feel so bitter at this point. I just like don't care what the update is. I could have had a podcast. We could have speculated. I just don't care. This is how I feel about updates. I'm a Leafs fan. For anyone who's a hockey fan, I'm a Leafs fan. You can punch me in the face. You can make all the jokes you want. But the Leafs every year are phenomenal in the regular season, but they shit the bed in the playoffs. Okay.
Like the Rangers.
Like the
Just like the
Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah. So I'm bored. I'm bored of the Leafs. I've barely watched any games this season because I just don't care because it's the same thing. And guess what, kids? It's happening again. They
Mhm.
shit the bed. They always shit the bed. I'm like, they're gonna lose in game 7. They're like, how dare you say that? I'm like, it's as it's going to game 6, and they will probably lose tonight and go to game
My
7.
husband's having that same combo because he's a huge Leafs fan.
Yeah, right? Okay, so he gets it, right?
Mhm.
The tying it all back together, I'm so bored with the Sims updates. I just don't care anymore. They're not giving us what they want. We can scream all we want to them, but they just keep giving us shit we don't want.
So if there was something that you wanted, other than
What would it be?
Dine Out, what is the pack that you want refreshed?
All of them.
Okay, fair.
There's no simple answer to that.
If you can pick one, you got to pick one. Or like top 3, top 5, whatever it would be.
I'll take it down from each level. I'll do an
Okay.
expansion, game pack, stuff pack, and I guess kit, because refreshes. I would say expansion pack. I have 2 answers. One,
Go for it.
I think they need to just get rid of seasons completely and put that into the base game. I think the same thing with cats and dogs. I think it's ridiculous that we have to spend $120 for rain and dogs. I think that's ridiculous. Just abolish those, add it to the base game. And then an actual kit I would like to see. An actual expansion pack I'd like to see refreshed is City Living. I would love to see the actual city living lifestyle of being a landlord and being able to own a building and like just kind of having more of that city vibes. Like, yeah, you have festivals and stuff, but I want parks there. I basically want them to treat it like Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like you can go and have fun and like have restaurants there and just kind of like really just, and all the fashion is disgusting. Okay, I don't know who the fuck they made that fashion for. Get some high street fashion, get that in there. So I would love to see that being refreshed and just different levels of apartments and like actually having real roommates and like proper dynamics and stuff and like sharing the bills and all that fun stuff. I think that would add a more like fun gameplay level of just like living with Timbuktu, and you pay like it literally shows like you used more of the internet this month, you pay more, and just kind
not
of
just them giving you that tiny little amount that they give you when you have a roommate.
Exactly. Or here's another thing I'd like: convenience stores. Introducing that, and grocery stores and all that good stuff of just like living in the city. I'm also being greedy. Subways, better bikes, open world concept.
That would bring in like refreshing, like maybe like vehicles in the base game, like they used to have. I'd like to see island living get a refresh because that is my I think out of my packs, I love that pack and I love that you can be a conservationist and but there's not much. Everything's a rabbit hole. There's no. I'd like to see more I know that there's a myth that you can get attacked by a shark and killed, but I've never seen it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can interact with dolphins, which I've done, but I would like to see when you go into the cave, you actually get to explore the cave, not just rabbit hole in it 1,000 times to do that picture, or be able to go out into a boat and go do deep sea diving, or deep sea fishing. Have it to be more interactive, have options to maybe learn how to do dances and things like that because they want it to be it's always been yes, I know it's a Pacific island kind of, it's supposed to be based with Hawaiian things and Hawaiian culture, but that kind of is missing from it. You don't it would be cool if you could learn how to surf, if they had surfing options, things like that, or you can do in Mount Komorebi, you can go do the mountains. I think maybe hiking in the tropical areas there would be really cool too.
I like that. I'm going to piggyback on that answer. I would love to see them also add another world to that pack and have one pack with 2 worlds and have a Caribbean themed.
Yes.
And it gets to experience the Caribbean culture. That was
something.
Or fucking cruises and stuff. And what I'd like them to do as well, because they have all the tribal tattoos, actually learning and how important those are to those cultures. Instead of just seeing a white bro dude just having a fucking tribal tattoo, having that as a set level. Once you reach that far into that culture's knowledge, you actually get to go and pick your tattoo and understand why those tattoos are so important.
Because I think when a lot of people think of like island living, the one thing they think of is like Makoa. That's like the like what came with island living. Makoa came with that,
But
but like
that's it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's like that's
That is
great.
my number one too, for those
Oh.
reasons, but also because they did the occult dirty.
Yeah, they
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
I agree.
Every other occult has like the track progression and like
Yeah.
the oh you do, and it's just like, oh, you're a mermaid, cool.
Dude,
I
I totally forgot
know.
there was mermaids there. I had to
Yeah.
Yeah,
download
because
Mermaid
there's like
CC.
nothing, like there's nothing that goes with it. There's no lore.
No.
All you get to do is rabbit hole into that mountain and
Mhm.
you hear them singing. That's it. They don't I agree, they did them dirty bad.
See,
Like it's
But
like they just kind of threw it in as an afterthought.
see,
give
I
me
want
the like
sirens, not
yes, give
mermaids.
me the path. Give me the
Yes.
mermaid where they're good, and give me the sirens where like a good mermaid isn't going to be pissed off if you ask, "Are you a mermaid?"
Yes.
But like
Exactly.
someone that's a siren is like, I'm going to eat you.
Yeah.
like,
Because I literally
like
had to download siren poses and CC because all the fucking whatever EA stuff, it's like pink
Yeah.
yep,
and happy. That's not siren.
No.
Sirens are
no
not pink,
consequence.
right? Exactly. Okay, what about everybody's game pack? Alex, you go first.
Oh, now I got to remember which one's a game pack and which one's not.
Yeah, that's always my
Honestly,
problem.
it would be game pack, and this is going to be like, I feel like very controversial.
Lay it
It's
on
going to
me.
be vampires.
Oh, okay. Why?
Mainly because vampires is a phenomenal pack. I think that was like one of the best that they came out of the gate with. But
Mhm.
after seeing what they've done with RIP stuff packs with paranormal, the
Yeah.
fact that we've got like 6 lots, 5 lots,
Yeah.
and just like this really, really small town, they've built off the lore with now werewolves. They've built off the lore with like realm of magic, like being able to just go back in and just inject so much more into it now that it's so much later and they realize what they can put in is
Mhm.
everything that I want.
Okay, I like that. Mimi, how about you?
Oh, well, see, I always have issues with game packs anyway. They never really hit where I expect them to hit, you know?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like there's just things lacking. Actually, I wish I could, and this has not to do with like game packs in general, but I'd like to see a refresh on aspirations.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck
I
yeah.
don't think like even like with then it goes with like vampires getting a refresh. Why is it that there's only like vampire family or like there's not I don't feel like there's enough diversity in our aspirations. Like even
Yeah.
like what did they add? They added the Vicious Valentine, was that the one?
Yeah.
And it's fun, but like I feel like they could add more aspirations to the other areas, or maybe like in the pack, like in a pack refresh, like vampires, add more aspirations, like a specific aspiration column that
Mhm.
has aspirations for them. Just like, you know, werewolves. Like, not that I like the aspirations with the werewolves because I think I mean, this is my opinion and people might not like it, but I feel that the aspirations in the werewolves is very limited and
Mhm.
I feel that they're very short. I don't think that there's a lot that goes with any lore there.
Mhm.
So I think in general, I think aspirations that are linked to the packs could use a refresh because if you're going to have occults and you're going to add that in there, they should have specific aspirations, not dumping aspirations into the other ones. Like, yeah, there's knowledge aspirations, but the spellcaster stuff should be in their own aspiration thing. Have 6 different options for aspirations for the, and that goes with mermaids too. I mean, there's nothing for
Yeah.
they have no
Right.
aspirations at all. So they like giving the occults like refreshing and giving each occult their own aspiration bundle, like a clump, and also having traits that go with that too, because I don't think there's enough traits that match the
Mhm.
aspirations. And not everybody can download CC. Not everybody can get mods. So you can't go in and download 100 extra traits if you're not playing on a PC and you don't have the room.
Yeah, I need aspirations to not be the like bare minimum tutorial of
Right?
what's in the
Yeah.
pack. Like
I
they need to
agree.
go a little bit further,
Exactly.
which is why we also need a freaking whims refresh.
Yes.
Yes.
Where did those go? They
Yeah.
stopped adding them.
Yeah,
I agree.
But not to derail, Stassi, what is your game pack?
Besides all of them,
You get
it's
one.
it's really hard
It's
because
EA.
I was just werewolves needs it because they're cat monsters. Because they're fucking cat monsters. I would have loved to see them take a more Native American approach and talk about like the kind of werewolf and all that kind of great stuff, and kind of talk about the kind of spiritual side of being a werewolf instead of them being furries. I would really like to see, what else would I want to see? I'm gonna take it quick. Obviously Dino, we've been that drum. Parenthood, I think Parenthood could again be abolished. Please put that in the base game. Last but not least, I would rather them create more game packs than stuff and kits combined, and I would like to see a roller coaster themed game pack.
Ooh,
I
Roller
used to
Coaster
play
Tycoon
Roller
goes
Coaster
Sims.
Tycoon all the time.
Yeah, just kind of like an amusement park, so people can create their own Disney worlds and their own Universal Studios and kind of, and actually being able to take a proper vacation, and then maybe at that same time adding hotels in there, so you can like stay at a resort
I like
and
that.
all that
Or
good
own
stuff,
a resort. That would be fun too.
or own a resort,
Right?
like just something on the lines of that, of just kind of adding something new, because like right now they're not giving us anything new.
And when it's new, it's usually a rabbit hole. It's like the Ferris wheel is a rabbit hole. Everything's a rabbit hole. You don't get to experience it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
two.
Okay,
Oh,
so like
I can honestly tell you, I have that pack. I have never ever gone there or used it.
the clothing
rabbit
though
hole.
is phenomenal.
I
if
do
you're
like the
I
clothes.
know.
if you're
And
like,
I
especially
like
for
a lot
elves.
of the build buy
Yeah.
things. I like those too. I just don't ever go to the world.
Oh, I'm gonna pick a quick, so a pack refresh that needs to happen is the Jungle Adventure World, because I had a podcast leak last week talking about diversity, and we had Wes Royalties come in. He made a presentation, which I will put below in this podcast as well, on how that pack does the indigenous culture in Brazil wrong. Basically, we go in and steal their treasure. Like that's not cool. So like there was a whole thing, and he basically was pleading like, please, a refresh isn't good enough. Just abolish the game, abolish that aspect, and actually learn our culture. If you guys want after, I will send you the presentation so you guys can read it, because it was absolutely phenomenal, well written, and it educated me a lot about the Latino culture that I was definitely not educated on being in Canada. I didn't learn about anybody else's culture besides our culture. They didn't teach anybody's. Like the only thing I know about US history is basically from Hamilton. Like literally the play. Because like
honestly, that's probably what half of America knows too, is from Hamilton.
Yeah. But like the only thing they taught us was the Boston Tea Party. And we kicked your ass in 1812. Because you guys wanted to be part of us. You wanted us to join you, and we're like, nah, we're good. And obviously
that's not even taught on a regular basis.
I know.
In the US.
It's just because Canada won. That's why we taught. We learn it because we won the history. So I think I'd like to put my answer in is reading Rest Royalties last week and seeing how offensive that game pack is to the Latino culture. I would like to see that game pack to not even like get a pack refresh, but having the education in the room to knowing that like stop whitewashing those cultures of just basically going in and stealing Aztec gold and treasures and stuff.
Right.
So
that's really interesting, especially with like the bugs that come with Bust the Dust, where like bunnies go and get you all of that gold.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That needs to be corrected.
I agree. That's my answer of my 16-page essay. What about stuff packs?
Ooh.
Yeah, I have to look up stuff packs. I get them all confused.
I feel like vintage Gaymer.
Yes.
There's so much they could have done with that, and they still could. Like everything that the royalty community is asking for could be in that.
Literally. We had a whole podcast last week dedicated to the royal storyteller community and how it's all CC. It has to be LCC because they have like 9 kingdoms and like multiple different cultures. That's not there. I'd love to see old vintage of like 1950s Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor, and all that good stuff, instead of it being tacky dresses that no one wears.
And like 4 or 5 objects. That is a glowing cube.
Oh my, wait, that's the pack the glowing cube came from?
I think that's invention. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That is, yeah.
Oh my god. I think the only thing I use from that is like the painting of the girl, because there's like it's like a black and white photo with red lips. I use that shit every room ever. But other than that,
I wouldn't mind a refresh on Nifty Knitting, but I'm like, I love crochet.
Yeah.
Like it's just so like there's not much to it. I mean, like I love the stuff in it, and I think that they could do much more with it. Like my Pink Jen, she was really into knitting like autonomously when she was nervous, so she made these cool things. But I feel like they could expand on it, because there's a lot of people out there that like to do that. But I think like paranormal too, there's a lot of refreshing that they could do with that, because I think that was a great base as to adding that into the occult. But like it does get kind of monotonous when you go on the paranormal investigations, and it really is like the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
It would be cool to kind of make it more like supernatural-esque.
I agree.
True.
You know, where you're just not going and like hunting. Like paranormal is more than ghosts. It would be cool if you were dealing with like the rest of that too.
Yeah. Not just like the Ghostbusters. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
You're good. The nifting knitting is such a good one though too, because it shows how detailed they can get and choose not to. Because I didn't know this until the Midnight's Legacy Challenge. You can get the knitting skill after Nifty Knitting came out through yarn bombing things in Discover University.
Interesting.
So they like added that compatibility of like you can get nifting or you can get knitting from yarn bombing. So it's like that's not even something I would have even thought about adding in. Yet they did that and have ignored so much.
And you can teach kids how to knit in that. And they, again, it's showing that you can do more. And I think that's kind of where like you look at that and then you see what they did in Growing Together. So like they have the capability of doing it, especially since they're working with so many modders.
Yeah.
There's no reason that refreshes can't happen.
So kits shouldn't be created by EA. They should be created by the modders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. And that I would pay so much for those kits.
Oh, heck
outside of
I would rather pay for kits that are done by modders, because like I try to support and stuff when on like Patreon and stuff for people that I use a lot.
Yeah.
And consistently in my things, and I would definitely pay more if I knew that
they were getting
kits. Yeah, because you know that what you're getting, they're thinking about what you're creating. They're not just thinking about gameplay. They're also thinking about the people who are doing more than just gameplay, which is always fantastic.
Yep.
I agree. I guess for me, I think, is it like Teenage Bedroom or something like that, or like Teenage Pack? I don't have it because there's 2 packs I don't have. I don't have my first pet stuff because that's ridiculous.
Fair.
There is Laundry Day, Toddler, Bowling Night, Vintage Glamor, Kids Room.
I'm looking.
Kids Room.
Kids Room.
Yeah. I'll take a Kids Room, and I want a pack refresh with Kids/Teens Room. And what I want, and I just had this conversation this morning with a Simsathon, is mattresses on the floor. Like just a plain old mattress, because
that would be nice.
I was saying every guy I dated in high school, that was his room.
Mattress
just
on
a mattress on the mattress on the floor.
My kid, that's his room.
Mattress on the floor. I want mattress on the floor. I want a proper clothes pile. That's not just like disgusting debug mess and it's all like shaded weird. I want to be able to like especially like male, like they're like seeing like they're like one shirt, like their one nice dress shirt, and like having like individual clothes and kind of stuff like that. And I don't know, because like how they design teen rooms is like they live in Gossip Girl and they have like boatloads of money, and like no, like a classic teens kids room, I guess it's like 18A, have a bong in the corner, mattress on the floor, clothes everywhere, and like a hot girl poster. Like I want to see that
Right?
kind of like reintroduced into this game of just
Without having to have to get CC and mods. That's like, I think, the whole purpose. Because again, as somebody who plays with a crap ton of CC,
Mhm.
I would prefer not to have to download all of it. I would prefer to be able to just use what I'm getting out of packs and kits.
right.
The backyard kit, I'd like to see that refreshed too.
Yes.
There's not much to that at all.
Literally open up
Yeah.
Lowe's or fucking Rona or whatever home improvement store you have. There's summer catalog Sims. Just open it up. You have
Right.
fucking everything you need right there.
Yeah.
It's no, we're not asking you to reinvent the wheel. Just
Exactly.
actual patio furniture, like a nice
Just take
conversation
what's in
set.
real life and put it in the
True.
game.
Yeah,
True.
exactly. I want to create a game pack kit that is for realtor agents, where you can become a realtor and sell homes.
That
Like
would
instead
be
of you,
fun.
I think that would be fun, especially because everybody and their mother loves HGTV, right?
Well, and it would be a lot more fun, like when you're in a challenge or you're whatever you're doing. It's
Mhm.
for your sim to be able to call up the real estate agent and like
Yeah.
actually go through the steps of having to sell their house before you could move to that next house.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
Like, what if like you wanted to buy a house, but it was like too much money, and then like for some reason there was like a simoleons crash, and then
Right?
like your house was cheaper. Like you could buy a house for cheaper, or your house is expensive, and then you got to move. I guess that's a little too realistic for a lot of us right now.
I
But
don't
like
know.
you could, yeah, but you could
I
add
like
that to
it.
Dream Core
I do
Decorator.
too. You know
Add
what
that
else
shit.
I think needs a refresh is spooky stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that should just be absorbed by paranormal at this
Yeah.
point.
Like
I
just
agree.
absorb it in because like I don't understand the point of it.
the only thing I like from that pack is this distressed wood.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
stress wall wood is phenomenal if you're doing like a distressed home. But I'd like a game pack for distressed homes.
See, because like I'm looking at these things and I'm like,
I like
they should
that.
just combine backyard, romantic garden, and
Yes.
perfect patio. Like, what's the
Yes.
point of having 3 separate packs?
I agree.
That's like
Yeah.
$30 you're spending when you could spend 9 to get
Yeah,
all of that.
exactly. Or what I'd like to, and coming back to what we talked about, like here are 40 items, and then for $10, you can pick 18 of them. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make your own.
It's like the mix and match.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Like
if you go over, then you pay.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I would like to see a realistic home game pack.
Yeah.
I want to see
Hmm.
open windows, half open doors, as you can literally see behind me. Half open door, half open door.
Yeah, who keeps
No-
all their doors in their I mean,
Nobody.
I have my door closed right now, obviously we all like but on a regular basis, I do not keep doors shut in my house.
No.
Nope.
Or like if it's snowing outside and you walk in and then your sim touches like their feet on a wet floor and they're discomfort because their fucking socks are wet.
Right?
Or God forbid a kid doesn't brush their teeth. They have tooth pain. You got to take them to the dentist and stuff like that. Or just kind of like more like real life scenarios that I really kind of feel like is missing, but they keep giving us like campy shit. I'm done with
because
campy shit.
It gets down to like it's great and all those things are there, but again, they're not available to everybody because it's and it's CC. It's not, like you want a lot of people want that experience. That's why they download the mods. That's why EA brought modders in to do things because people want ultra realism in these games. Just because they don't want to adult in real life doesn't mean that they don't want to adult in a game. That's where the difference is. Because when you're an adult in a game, it's different.
Yeah.
So I mean, they know what they need to do and they have the means to do it, to make it available for everybody to have it without having to go outside sources to get it. Because I think when you're playing a game, it should be in that generalized for everybody to be able to enjoy it. And I know that they're taking steps, but they could take bigger steps.
Yeah.
I agree. And I guess my last kit, or actually expansion pack, what I would want is kind of like the Sims 3, like exploring the world, but I would want people from every culture of the worlds that they're exploring to be in the room to make sure that they're actually representing the worlds correctly, not over stereotypes. Like I've said multiple times, I want an Africa world, I want an Australian world, I want a China world, Korea world. and explore those cultures a little bit more. I'm tired of seeing Western-based worlds. I'm tired of it. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Give me something that excites me. And it's just something different and something that's new. And the thing is we can sit here and we can talk about all the things and all the exciting things we want. But the game is broken.
Yeah.
The game is broken. So they, like, as Mimi said, and Alex, you've said as well, what I actually want from The Sims 4 is to fix a game that I spent $1,000 on.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Don't give me kits.
That's wild.
Right?
Yeah, if you think about, like, I never really thought about like how much you spend. Because, like, you know, $40 per expansion pack, and you're $9 for the stuff kits, and it does add up.
So
it adds up a lot, and I'd like to not have to constantly pay modders on the outside on stuff and let them do on the inside, because then it's an expensive game. I'd like to see them refresh and do what they can with the game that we have, instead of trying to hyper focus on a game that does not exist yet.
Exactly. Like the CC should add to the game, not fix the game.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's my total wish. For every refresh, refresh it so it works. Why are we spending $1,000? Like, if we walked up and went to a store, we went to Chanel. We said, I'm going to spend $1,200 on the Chanel purse. And the person's like, yeah, you can, but it doesn't close all the way. It doesn't seal. Do you still want it? You would say no. It's broken. Why would I spend $1,200 on this? But as Simmers, I feel like we forget that the game is actually really broken because we've just so used to it being so broken that we're just not fighting back anymore, because they just don't listen. They just don't listen. Like, honestly, at this point, Life by You is coming out in September. I'm actually very much considering jumping ship for the first time in my Sims, whatever, giving up the Sims for a little bit and trying another life simulation game and seeing, is the grass actually greener on the other side? There's more of those life simulation games. Like, The Sims needs to realize that they are no longer the shark in the ocean. People are coming.
The only one.
They're not the only one anymore, and they need to step up. And like I've said multiple times on this podcast, and I'll say it again, people can go to space for an afternoon and come back, thanks to Jeff Bezos and evil Elon Musk, right? They're commercializing space travel, but we're still sitting talking about The Sims of getting proper skin tones for all representations. Like, that's really weird, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like we have all these hopes, dreams, and promises, but I just kind of really wish that The Sims would just focus on fixing a game that we spent $1,000 to buy. So that's my soapbox for this podcast, of just basically call me when something cool happens. Until then, I don't care about your kits. I don't care about more Western worlds. I want things to change. And the only way and the only way that's going to change is if us Simmers stop buying packs day one. We stop letting them get away with the bullshit they've been doing. And the only way to do that is to show them that we will jump ship and play something else. Yeah. So again, this is a sad, depressing one. This is not my goal, but I'm just...
It's The Sims.
It's The Sims. It's The Sims. Right? Because, like, I don't know. I don't want to keep beating the same dead horse, but just fix the game.
Yeah,
The Sims are.
Yeah, literally. Because, like, let's say Project Renee is not. Let's say Project Renee is Sims 5. You don't think we're going to have a university fucking games expansion pack or cats and dogs? It's the same carbon copies. I'm literally looking at Sims 2 Pets right now. Sims 2 Open for Business. Sims 2 Nightclub. Sims 2 University. It's just the same shit over and over again. I wish they would just, instead of expansion packs, just keep updating the base game.
Yeah.
Or
refreshing what we already bought.
Refreshing what we've already bought. So,
which actually goes to what I had as a final question, which you already answered. But do you think that there's going to be another refresh?
No.
Ever?
No.
I'd like to think there would be, but I think they're just going to keep coming out with kits and packs, and because people buy them. I mean, obviously we buy them. I mean, but I think that people are always going to buy them
Mhm.
because they like the game, and they are always going to hope that they're going to refresh or they're going to update, or maybe the next update is going to fix the issues that were happening. Everything's just a band-aid. It just seems like it's always going to be just that little band-aid fix.
I agree. It's kind of like, so you're in a relationship, it's a really toxic relationship. You know, like this is what you'll have, you know, if we get married, things will be better.
Right.
So then you all get married. And guess what? The problems are still there. You're like, you know what? Let's have a baby. A baby will fix it. And guess what? You have a baby. It didn't actually fix anything. You've just kept moving the goalpost of what you think is happiness or what you think is good, right? But you didn't actually fix the problems along the way. You've just always convinced if you got to the next step, oh, like if it got the next update, this will fix. We got the new kit, this will do this, or like X, Y, and Z. Because the thing is EA is a $1 trillion company. Everything that we said on this podcast today, they could do. Maybe billion, not trillion. But yeah, but whatever.
A lot
of money. They could do everything times 10. But they're not going to.
Well, yeah, if you take a look at any other games that they're involved in, you know they can. I mean, like my husband and my kids, they all play Apex, and that's all EA. Yeah. And I see what they do with that.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at.
Man, if you could do that in The Sims, that would be amazing.
Well, let's take a look at FIFA and NHL and all those carbon copies every fucking year. It's the same bullshit. Why are we expecting Sims to be any different? I think Sims needs to part ways with EA and just go back to being its own thing. But they'll never do that.
No.
Because it was Maxis, right?
It was Maxis. Yeah. Maxis was the EA.
They got bought.
Yeah. But like, I think at Maxis at this point, if Maxis stepped out and said, like, we're gonna separate from Daddy EA and we're gonna cancel Project Renee and we're gonna redo everything, we're gonna fix everything because we don't have to make the CEO happy. We can just do whatever the fuck we want again. I think that's something that would really benefit the game. And instead of pushing out 2 more kits, by the time this podcast comes out, we'll have already had those 2 kits come out, and we will have already had a hot update, whatever that may be, and
probably something else,
whatever Q3 has in store, which I have to assume.
Other small updates. Every time I bring up that app, it's telling me I need to update my game. I'm like,
I know I have to, like, under a Plumball podcast, post on Instagram when there's a patch, and I'll be like, fucking hell, we just had a patch. My game just was working. Isn't that annoying? Shouldn't we be happy when we get patches?
Yeah.
I don't ever have a problem with my game running. That's the thing. Like, it's rare I ever have an issue with my game running. Maybe it's my system. I don't know. But like, outside of when high school years came out and like Werewolves, those are the only 2 major issues I ever had with game, and that's when I had lost my entire Not So Berry save, like all 13 generations. That was the only time. Like, I never have a problem running my game. I don't have freeze ups. Like, I think maybe twice since the new pack came out, my game has like autonomously shut itself down. But that's, I mean, I'm gonna knock on wood right now because I'm jinxing myself. But I don't ever really have like freeze issues. I never really have. So when everybody complains about that part of it, I don't get that part of it.
Like, literally, I'm having a problem. So I only have 15 to 20 lots I can actually go into. The ones I know. If I don't, the lots actually just don't open.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
All the time. I just discovered a new one for me the other day because I was trying to I put a business into the business world and it won't open. And I have a lot of the same problems in a lot of the older packs that just the lots just won't open, and I'll wait an hour. The other day I was like, you know what? I have nothing to do better. I'm just gonna wait for an hour and a half, and I sat in the loading screen. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna restart the game and do it again. Another hour went by after. I didn't need to do it, but it's just annoying. Like, I can't even play on a lot that I paid $60 for because I can't even get the game to open it.
I've never not been able to open a lot.
Yeah.
There's been once where I wasn't able to open my game, and that was when the EA app first got installed, and I just had to restart my computer, and I have never had that.
The next
Like,
time it happens, I will gladly send a video with an hour of like this because it happened on Friday night because I was trying to do Rose Chronicles. I was really tired. I just wanted to get this chapter out and I couldn't get the world open. And I was just like, I am just going to watch obviously a true crime documentary on Netflix and call it a night because I can't be bothered to sit there and just watch the fucking loading screen for an hour.
Well, see, like when Wedding Stories came out, I couldn't, like, I remember I tried to go into the world and I couldn't. Like, I remember when that came out, that was nothing but that was a freaking shit show. That, and the only other issue I run into is the stupid, what is that, social bunny thing? That has never worked in game for me. I don't even have the button on the phone option. Like when you click on the phone, that's not even there. And I've taken my mods out, I've taken my CC out, but I do not have that option. So like when my sim gets a moodlet because somebody said something rude on Social Bunny, I can't look at it unless I go to a computer, or if something comes up on your like list of things that happen. So like that's about it. That's pretty much the only, I mean, there could be other things I'm not experiencing and I just don't realize it, but
wow.
Yeah. Grass and greener, kid. I'll tell you that.
Well, you know, there is a saying about that, and I just talked to my one kid about this, and I said, you know, there is that saying that the grass is always greener on the other side. But the reason why the grass is always greener on the other side is because the person with that grass is nurturing their grass, is taking care of their grass. Yours is not, because you're not taking care of it. EA is not taking care of their grass.
No.
The neighbors are. However, once you jump ship and go into that other yard, it's just going to fall apart because you're not taking care of it. Somebody else is doing the work. That's why the grass is always greener on the other side. You're only going to have a green grass if you're doing the hard work yourself.
I like that. So basically what you're saying, Mimi, is we have to create our own life simulation game. That's exactly what I've heard. Okay,
that's
perfect.
what I'm saying. We need to create our own game.
We can do this.
We can do this. Coding, we're good. We're fine.
Yeah, we got this. I'll just talk about it and get hype. And you guys, I don't know what else goes into making a game because I've never had that. I don't know.
I'll do data.
We'll figure it out. We got it.
I'll be able to say how many infants have been created and not address everything else.
Excellent. Well, did anybody have anything else they wanted to add?
That's most of it.
Just that this has been a really great time as always.
Oh man, I love it when you guys come. You guys are welcome to come back anytime. I have a couple podcasts as I'm plugging this. I have podcasts. Anybody who wants to listen to this to join. It would be the season roundtable finale. That sounded that broken English at best. The season finale roundtable is called Stassi on After Dark. So whatever the fuck we want to talk about in that podcast is gonna happen. I'm very curious. I also want to thank Alex. I want to thank you for coming on the 100th episode podcast. A lot of people really liked that this week.
It was a lot of fun.
That was really good.
I had a lot of positive feedback. I was so scared because I didn't want to make the podcast about me. That was the whole thing I was trying to avoid. Like, look at me. It is me. Like I just, and I was like, I listened to it. I was like, people are gonna think that like it's all about me. And it was just so well received. So thank you for coming on. Yeah,
of course, anytime.
Well, I want to say this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Alex, for being a co-host. Didn't even say that through the beginning of this because
this was just like close friends chatting. That's all it was. It was the three of us.
100%.
Saturday get together.
Yeah,
Mimi and I able to connect actually on the podcast because you got us together off the podcast, so it's perfect.
Oh my god, we could just call this like sipping with friends, sipping tea with friends. I like how you like have water. I have yogurt.
I've got water and then I've got lemonade.
Yes. See, this
gotta
is
stay hydrated.
Like, I saw this video and it's so stupid. I saw this video and this lady has this cup that she keeps near her bed. She goes, "Look what I found this morning," and there was a frigging spider in her straw. So I went immediately on Amazon and got these little straw cups. Because I'm like, no.
A new fear is unlocked. My sim as the awful gamer is forever going to be petrified of taking water to bed.
Oh my god.
Little straw cover. God,
damn it. I didn't even know that was a possible fear.
I
Okay.
didn't either until I saw that stupid video.
Okay, so now I have to worry about snakes. Sorry, not snakes, spiders and the straw. God damn it. See, I have this irrational fear that I'm gonna pee and there's gonna be a snake in the toilet.
Oh,
I have that. I think about it every day. Every time I pee, I'm like, no snake today.
no
Don't know why.
All right.
I live in Canada. There's definitely no snakes. Even camping, there's no snakes. But I'm convinced that one day I'm gonna open the lid and there's gonna be a fucking snake in the toilet while I pee. And that's Stassi,
yes.
kids. And it's been an absolute pleasure getting to sit down. Yeah, we're gonna end this now.
End scene.
Yeah, I'm getting loopy. I want to thank both of you guys for coming back here today and sharing what our hopes and dreams and wishes are for a game pack. I hope EA, as I know they do listen, that I hope they take an ounce of this and actually do something with it. Don't fucking give us another kit of something we don't give a shit about. Give us at what we actually want and the things we think we want the most is a game that works. So, yeah. For a quick round of final, where do we find your work? The Awful Gaymer, you go first. Where can we find your work?
You can find me anywhere under The Awful Gaymer, other than, well, I won't say other than, because who knows? By then, I could be there. So The Awful Gaymer everywhere, other than EA, which I am The Awful Gaymer, because can't say gay at EA.
That's going to change one day. Yeah, me and Calvin keep saying that to you. It's going to change one day. Mimi, how about you? Where can we find your work?
You can find me on IG, _Maliki_Star Sim Stories. You can find me on Gallery, Maliki Star. I just had like a brain moment. I do have a YouTube, Chaotic Maliki, but it has not started yet because I'm balancing the idea of maybe doing a Let's Play with my Hanson remix because my family stories are ridiculously funny. So, but that's kind of almost. It's a kind of almost.
Well, if it comes out before October, please send me the link, and the link will be below. I want to thank you both for coming here today. I'm going to do self-plug because I forget to self-plug on my podcast all the time. Please go check out the Awful Gamers Summer Spotlight. That's out right now. Please go check out the Not So Berry podcast and the Hunter Baby podcast with Mimi. Please go check those out. Please go check out my series, the Story Spotlights, where every Saturday I do written interviews on my podcast Instagram page called Saucy J Unplugged Podcast. Please go check those out. I have Saturday interviews lined up for the next 2 years. So there's not a shortage of Saturday interviews. Please check out the video podcast. As you know, this is recorded as a video. Please go check out the video portion of this as well. Give me a sub on YouTube. Come check out my Twitter. It's not that awesome, but I'm on Twitter. Also, this is super new, but new now, not new when this comes out, is my new podcast series called Real oh my god, I literally forgot the name because that is like Real Life with Stassi. Real Life with Stassi. Please come check that out. They're sporadic episodes where I will talk with real professionals about real things that matter in real life, such as talking to an OBGYN and talking about getting sober and talking about planning a wedding. I thought this would be really fun of just taking this podcast into a next level. But do not worry. Do not worry at all. We will still have Simmer Spotlights and Roundtables every week. This is just a little extra for anybody who I wish stuff I would have known growing up. So I want to give you that knowledge. Please go check out the Rose Chronicles as I wear my first ever merch sweater. Looks like a little mangled, as you can tell. There you go, because I wore the shit out of it last year. Please go check out the Rose Chronicles. Also, please check out me and Alex's interview, which we will eventually film about Rose Chronicles. Don't know when. Please go check that out. That will be out by the time this comes out. Please go check out the Machinima Awards where I host. Please go check those out. Yes, She's a Simmer is absolutely amazing. She put on the award show and I was so gracious to host. Please go check out The Reaper where I play Amy. Please go check out Davenport where I also play Amy. Please go check out Fable where I play Alexi Black. Also go check out my Stassi page. At this point I'm almost at 7,300 followers. It's just, I got a lot going on. So
go follow Stassi on Twitch.
Come follow me on Twitch, guys. I have Twitch. I have one follower and it's Kevin. So yes, please go. Eventually I might do Twitch. We'll see.
Twitch podcasts.
We'll see.
You could do that. Record the VOD on Twitch. You got the podcast with the chat interacting. I'm on board.
Me too. Yes.
We'll see. I just
the face said it all.
That's
See,
no.
we're saying more chaos. More
Yeah,
chaos.
like well, chaos. I think I'm just so scared that no one will actually show up, and that would make me really sad. So
You've got a community behind you.
Yes.
I know, but like I'm just the beauty of these podcasts is when people, my listeners, also thank you, new listeners, for every day, plugging you guys as well. They can listen to whenever they are ready. When I have a Twitch, they have to come to me. So I think I'm a little bit more scared if we're not realizing that.
No. You got Twitch where you can do it live, but then you can also take the recording and release it as a podcast.
Exactly.
They can come to you when they're ready.
Multitasking.
Do you know how hard it is to run a podcast? I could imagine seeing comments going down the side.
That's fair.
I would have to have like 5 monitors and just not being able to see it. They'd be like, she doesn't read my comments.
You invited 2 people of chaos onto this.
Know,
We're going to
like,
encourage
just
more.
Do it. You're fine.
You know what? That's a season 3 thing. Let me finish. Let me do season 3. Let me get season 3 started. Let me finish up Rose Chronicles, okay? Which is going to end. Anyways, we do have to wrap up this podcast. Please go check out Alex Gaymer, Mimi, and please go check everything I just plugged for myself. I love you guys. I love my listeners. You guys are fucking rock stars. I cannot wait till we chat again. Bye.